Yes, sis, bro.
Is it snappy snap?
No, I ain't on snaps. I'm just, I'm about to.
Nice.
We're about to, how do you feel, my nigga? I ask you first.
How do I feel about what?
Okay, so, today we had the press release. Press release from my brother, Acie. William Gerald Mutumanji, Lumumba, saying that he's going back as of the 1st of December to Zanu PF. How did it make you feel?
I don't know, man. Like, honestly, have you ever, you know that moment when you have mixed emotions, you don't know what to say? Sometimes you want to just say F you.
Actually, he could say that to RG.
Yeah, like, I mean, if you
could say it to him.
Someone can say it to him, but like.
So were you disappointed?
I'm very disappointed.
Oh, so Chef Bay in the building. We got that grilled chicken. We got vegetables. We got some sort of, I don't know, creamy looking mushrooms.
And milk.
Okay. Mushrooms and milk.
And spices.
And spices. All right, cool. I'm here with Adrian Tate. Adrian Tate just said to me he's disappointed that Acie has decided to go back to that. Oh yeah, why did you?
The reason why I'm disappointed is I don't know what we are fighting. What were we fighting, or what were you fighting, or
what are we fighting for?
If at the end of the day we're going back to the same thing that we said we want to, because at the end of the day it's the system that we want to get rid of, right? It's not longer just the person, okay? It's the system. It's the system, because I feel like the Mugabe system is there, you know.
Okay. So I've thought a lot about this, ladies and gentlemen. So today I'm gonna give you my breakdown on why, or basically the breakdown on this whole Acie Lumumba scenario. Listen carefully, Adrian Tate.
I hope you're not gonna defend him.
No. Chef basically, I know I shouldn't defend him. I'm not trying to defend him. I'm trying to contextualize him. So hopefully everyone's listening. Everyone's having a good day. Chef Bay's giving us that good. Look at that, Adrian Tate.
I can see that, bro.
Chef Bay's in the building.
Now I feel like eating healthy.
Now eating healthy is the way to go.
Yeah, that's rabbit food.
Rabbit food. Now listen, I'm enjoying my rabbit food. Look at me, I'm trimming nice and feeling good. All right, before I add anyone to the conversation, I thought I'll break down to you why Acie Lumumba did what he did. You know, I've been, ever since the very beginning, you know, the hashtagging era, the social media era of activism, where the social movement started cropping up. You know, I was always in the underbelly of that. You know, if you go back in time and look at the hashtags like Tongo Gara, when Junior Brown dropped the song I produced, and kids on the internet and Twitter started talking a lot about social issues, you know, and it became quite prevalent. And after the whole Tongo Gara issue, that's when sort of this flag with Pastor E came out, you know, and I was a part of that team as well, you know, because we're really passionate about challenging the system and challenging the status quo of fear. Around that time, young Acie Lumumba gave us a call, and, you know, like, look, dudes, I'm done with Zanu PF. I mean, the corruption, the things that are going down with the money from Old Mutual, all sorts. So by this time, Acie had sort of splintered off and started 1835. He was now doing videos as well, and he was trying to sort of break away and unite people who are outside of the Zanu PF political divide. So if you watch some of his old initial videos, he had people like Patson Zamara, guys from NPP, guys from PDP. So he was trying his best to get a representative, try to do a representative 1813. And then from there, he started doing his Digging Deeper series, where he was actually fighting against Patrick Joao and them. So when Acie Lumumba left, he was he basically was in a big war with the G40. Basically, when he left, I mean, he wasn't in good books with people like Jonathan Moyo and what's his name, Patrick Joao. However, Acie, I think, still idolized and still had the backing of someone like Xavier Kasukwere, I believe. I mean, obviously he respected a lot about Xavier Kasukwere is what he calls his daddy, his political daddy. So Acie left Zanu PF begrudgingly. He was sent out, and he was kicked out of the youth council. He was fired from the youth council for corruption, and then he quit Zanu PF, the party. Now, let's fast forward on. He's now started Viva. He said fuck you to Mugabe, and all these things have started happening. Hold on, Uncle Ray Ray. I see you. He's got, of course, he has a choice. I mean, AC is not here. I saw him earlier. AC then had a choice to. Sorry, shit. I'm wearing my shit upside down. Jesus. I sorry. So, like I said, today we'll talk healthy living and we'll talk Acie Lumumba. So we're still talking healthy living. Chef Bay has whipped us up a really mean meal of chicken breast, some grilled vegetables. And some sort of saucy, nice thing. So we're looking forward to eating that. Are we not, Adrian Tizade?
I don't know. I'm not touching that right now. But I'm sorry. I'm going to try some. I'm going to eat some. Today I'm going to eat healthy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've always considered Acie as a younger brother to me. I've always known that he's a very ambitious young man, a very clever young man. The thing with people like Acie Lumumba is this. I genuinely speaking do not ever want, I don't enjoy fighting against someone like, I genuinely don't enjoy fighting against people like Acie Lumumba. You know, if you look at the class of 2018 and all the let's say the horsemen of the apocalypse, you really don't want to be on the wrong side of a Fadzai Mahere or an Evan Mawarire or even a Patson Zamara, a Promise Mukwana. Some of these young dudes you don't want to be on the wrong side. What you want to do is you want to harness all of them and work together, because I think though that's a future type of cabinet of people who can actually make a huge difference when they're united. Okay, I've always been a somewhat unifying force because I'm non-contentious. I don't pretend to be a nice guy. I don't pretend to be a Christian. I don't pretend to be a lawyer. I'm just generally a guy who can fit in well with all of them, and some of my particular skill sets genuinely help when they plug into everybody else. Right? When the march came. And there was a big call, and Pastor E had done the video of the march, and comrades were calling for the march to happen, and the war vets were saying the march needs to happen. A lot of things were happening. We got catapulted and whirlwinds into a situation where nobody really chose to be there, but then by proxy, we became somewhat involved in trying to mobilize the citizenry to join the different party machineries that wanted to march. And we're now in a weird position where people who don't generally like each other had to now start working together for the common good of trying to get everybody together for that one particular march. So for example, I had to go to Zanu PF provincial headquarters in Harare to deal with a very incensed Zanu PF youth who felt they'd been used and abused and all sorts of stuff, and they were angry, and we had to deal with other, Brother Promise and the guys from Tajamuka as well, who have been fighting the good fight for a year and a half now and been put in jail, and there's a lot of real issues that have been going on. And to try and get people from Tajamuka and Zanu-PF to march together was an extremely difficult task. So it needed all our heads together to try and make sure that we could unite and unify just the main, call them opinion leaders of the various factions to actually work together. Okay, that looks interesting. Now, what do we call this, Chef Bay?
Just water, baby.
So this is water with cucumber and lemon and grapes and cool stuff. Man, this healthy living stuff is really dope. So we're talking healthy living in Acie Lumumba. So Acie Lumumba was tasked with the job of trying to bring elements of the military, the war veterans, okay? The military, the war veterans, and Zanu-PF to the table. For example, a lot of people are saying, how can we march without army approval? And that was a good question, right? And it needed someone with the skill sets of Acie Lumumba who can actually navigate his way through the pretty dark dungeons and depths of Zanu-PF, the military, and so forth, for him to be allowed, for us to even have them go on TV and say the military endorses and lets the march go on. The GoFundMe money is still in the GoFundMe. I mean, I'm sure you can go get a refund if you want. But I can assure you that the Hatfield people did mobilize and they did work. So, but if you want your money back, just go get it. It's still there. It hasn't moved, right? Okay. So, I was talking to Chef Bay the other day, and I also spoke to Pastor E about this. And I think it's an analogy that we should all try and remember and understand. In every household, there's different tools, right? So, in every household, you have a toaster. In every household, you have a coffee maker, you have a microwave, okay? But in every household, you also have other implements. Now, I want to show you what these implements are.
We don't have water.
I'll have to find one. So in every household you have all these implements, right? But you also have, I mean, can you see it? I'm in a toilet. Okay. I can't turn the light on for some reason. I don't know what's going on. But in every household you have all these implements, but you also have a toilet plunger. Now a toilet plunger is used to unblock toilets. It has the shittiest job in the house, but it's a very integral job, because if your toilet is blocked, the toilet plunger is what you use. Okay? Now, if you have a child in a play and they need to dress up like an alien, you can go to a store and buy a toilet plunger and put it on your child's head and basically make it like an antenna. Okay? You make it like an antenna. And you can enjoy your child's play with this antenna, which is a toilet plunger. Okay? But when the play is over and everything is said and done, and you have this toilet plunger lying around in your house, if your toilet gets blocked up full of shit, you always say, let's grab the toilet plunger and let's unplunge that toilet. Okay? Around. When we sat in the Miku, the Munumutapa, and Acie was tasked, and you can ask Pastor Ian them, Acie was tasked to interface with the generals and interface with the military. I knew for a fact that we were sending our little brother back into a zone which he's very comfortable in. He's very comfortable in that Zanu PF shitty zone, right? And I knew that there was going to be a lot of work for us as his brothers to try and then extricate him out once he had gone in. I'll give you an example. As soon as we went to the Zanu PF provincial headquarters that day, there was a bunch of youth outside. Like, I'll show you videos one day. There was literally thousands of young people. I met Tongai Mnanga go there and whatever, and it was crazy. The energy was mad. Now, people there were fighting amongst themselves for silly things like Zanu PF is crazy. They're crazy. As soon as I got there with Acie, the crowd went bananas. Whoa, MP. They started lifting him up. They started giving him all this love. They basically was carried to the stairs, and literally carried to the stairs where all the main war vets were there, and some of the main leadership of Harare province were there, and literally they were all giving him hugs and dapses and saying, welcome home, welcome home, welcome home. And I saw Acie's face when he was taken into that position. I saw it. Right? Cedric, you're not listening. You're asking questions, you're not listening. Come on, listen. And he was being given so much love and acceptance when he got to Zanu PF Provincial Headquarters. Now, I was there and I was scared for my life, because I tell you what, some of the people who were there are people who I had physically fought with before. I had physically been in serious altercations with certain people. Like, there's a lot of murky, dark things that happen which you don't put on the internet. And I can tell you that, we're bulldogs, so there's a lot of dark shit that happens. So a lot of these guys who were there are niggas who they know who I am, they knew what I'm about, and they knew that things could go down. So, but because I came there with Acie, they allowed me to be there that day. And then Tongai Mnanga was there as well. We were cool together as kids, and so went to the same school and so forth. So, I immediately knew that my young bro was now in an environment. Remember that toilet plunger analogy? He was now in his environment where he's most efficient. You see, because a toilet plunger on the head of a child in a play is not an efficient tool. It's an ornament. Acie Lumumba within the opposition ranks is an ornament. But when you put him in a shitty environment as a toilet plunger, he thrives. That's where he wants to be. He's head deep in the shit. Okay? Now, I mean this respectfully, guys. I mean this very respectfully. His head is deep in the shit, and he was working the crowd and working these old women and working these old men and working these youths. And he was very, 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 very deep in this weird world. And us, as the people who had sent him on that mission, should have also had a plan to how we're going to extract him from that, sanitize him, boil him, put him through Dettol and stuff, and clean him up so he can be put on the head of a child again. But that plan was never made. So what I said to Pastor E, what I said to Advocate Maher and everybody else, I said these words. I said, ever since Acie left the other side, when he left Zanu PF and said, fuck you to Mugabe, very few people accepted him when he joined the other ranks. Very few people accepted him when he joined the other ranks. You know, nigga came, he'll come, Acie is the nigga who tries he tries to be with everybody. He tries to talk to everybody. Because Acie at the very beginning was the guy who was like, guys, we need to start a political party, a young political party. We need to challenge them. We need to go on some EFF shit. And in those days, Advocate Mayor was manning sort of surrogately manning this flag. Pastor E was in the States, and Tajamuka was on different things. So there was a lot of things happening, ladies and gentlemen. But Acie was always ahead of his time when it came to thinking about how do we challenge the status quo. So if you look at stuff like the Be the Change campaign with Advocate Mayor, that's stuff that Acie was talking about last year. Before anyone even thought, let's run for office and actually try and make changes from within the belly of the beast. Okay? I'm not adding you right now, Mr. Chiango. Please hold on. I'm still talking here. Please. Come on now. Listen, team. Listen. When Acie Lumumba came to the other side, when he left Zanu-PF and had all this information about how people rig, how people talk, Acie Lumumba gave us the most insights that we've ever heard, because that kid was intricately involved in the rigging process. He told us exactly how they got rid of Maimujuru from Zanu-PF. He told us exactly how they were going to try and get rid of ED eventually. He told us this last year. Acie is a very smart political mind. But when he came to the other side to say, guys, I'm here. You said we should cross over and we should come. I'm here. He was treated with nothing but disrespect. He was treated with a lot of distrust. People wouldn't even talk in front of him. People wouldn't treat him very nicely. You see, I know this because, like I said, call me the unassuming figure who plays with everybody nicely. I play with everyone nicely. So I've been at the table with most of these brands and most of these organizations. And you can ask them all. And I can tell you that when someone like Acie came through, he was always treated differently. You see, he doesn't get the embrace and the applause and the love and the adulation that someone like a Fadzai Here gets. He doesn't get the same love and acceptance as someone like a Pastor E gets. So, for example, if Acie shows up to like a prayer in the park, he won't get the treatment that, let's say, Vimbai Mushaburi gets, where she's invited on stage to pray. He's always treated like he's always an outsider. On the side of the opposition, Acie was always an outsider. People really, really distrusted him because of the way where he was coming from. Remember, like I said, every house is a tool. He wasn't a microwave. He was a toilet plunger. Okay, are you following me, people? Are you following me? So when, for the first time, he was sent back to Zanu-PF, and then he was given this love and adulation, and people celebrated when he came. I remember the sitcom when I was young. It's a beautiful sitcom. It was called Cheers. And in this Cheers sitcom, there was the song that opened up this sitcom called Cheers. Cheers is about a bar. And there are people like Norman in it. It's a beautiful bar. And the song that they used to sing about this bar called Cheers, you should Google it on YouTube if you can. It goes, where everybody knows your name, dun, 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 and they're always glad you came. Dun. So basically, when Acie went back to Zanu-PF that one particular day, 3 days before the march, he found a place where everybody knew his name and everyone was glad he came. And I knew at that point that we had lost him. I knew it. I knew it because he has never been treated like that before on the other side. I knew it. And I said this to Pastor E. I said, my God, the way those Zanu people have treated that boy, he has got more love and adulation. So, if you go back to any old Acie Lumumba video, you see the first things he says is, press like if you can hear me, press the hearts button if you can see me. If that does not psychologically break down the person that Acie Lumumba is to you, then nothing will. Acie Lumumba is a person who thrives on likes and love. It's a psychology. The psychology, he could have used any emojis. But he says, if you like what I'm saying, like me. And if you can see me, heart me, love me, right? So this is the reason. why I saw this man get so much love with the Zanu PF that I knew that because he's never got that love, whether it was this flag, whether it was the Jamuka, whether he never got any of that kind of love. I knew it. This guy is gone. And these people are going to love him and they're going to appreciate him and they're going to take him away. And I'm deeply, deeply saddened. I'm deeply saddened that they did, that they managed to. But I don't blame him. I don't blame him because he was always treated differently to everybody else. See, I know what it's like to be treated differently. Ladies and gentlemen, I grew up in Australia in the 80s. There was no black people. I was the only black kid. You can go scroll on my pictures, on my photos, on my place, on my page. I know what it's like to be treated totally differently. See, I used to win all my swimming awards in Australia because the white kids refused to jump in the pool with me. I used to swim against teachers and the teachers would let me win. This is a true story. So I know what it's like to be different. And I know what it's like to be treated different. Right? I know what it's like. I know what it's like when people treat you different. And then you get to a place where everybody treats you with love and respect. You see, you guys may not know this. I mean, there's a bunch of you here calling him a snake and all sorts of things. You don't know that that kid, by himself, has done more for the opposition movement than most people. Because he's not just a rhetorical speaker. He's not just a person who talks shit. Whenever we've been in the scuffle, Acie has literally stood there most of the times. Whether it's Munwesem Road or whatever, he's always stood there with niggas. Whether we like it or not. He's always been a guy who, as far as me, even when we're working on the Be the Change campaign and all this, he's always had a bunch of brilliant ideas because he's quite a brilliant kid. But nobody ever accepted him to be a part of the organizations that we were running, as part of the social movements. No one would ever say, yo, Acie, you can become like, you can become a chairman or this, or you can join us on this, or you can be a part of this conversation. People treated him with distrust. And I knew that eventually we're going to lose this kid. And we lost him. Now I'm going to give you guys a stark warning. Everyone where is the GoFundMe money? Sean, if you gave to the GoFundMe money, go to the GoFundMe page and get a refund. The money is still there. I can't explain that enough to people. The money has never been withdrawn. It's still there. Despite the fact that work was done in Hatfield as promised, you need to go back there and get your refund. If you gave money, 90% of yours guys who didn't give money are the ones who are talking the most shit. He's likely a CIA operative. He's not a CIA operative. He's just a young kid who came out of Epworth from nothing. His mother was a maid. And he rose up the ranks. That's what Acie Lumumba is. And I understand him. I understand it. I understand Acie Lumumba. Like I said, I want to give you guys a stark warning. Everybody who said he's a snake, he's a this, he's a this, he's a this. I want you guys to understand one thing. You have no idea. You have no idea the problems we now have on this side of the fence. Now that we have to actively every day fight against a Zanu PF youth that now has Acie Lumumba at the front of it. You guys have no fucking idea. And I want you to understand what this is. I want you to understand that the reason why the social movements, the reason why those kind of things were so effective was because it had the best minds and the best young people behind it, including Lumumba. Now we don't have him no more. He's gone on the other side. And now he'll stand front and center of that youth league. And all those buffoons. Remember, you're dealing with Kudzichipanga and those buffoons. You now don't deal with those anymore. Why do you sound afraid of him? Listen, Todd, I'm not afraid of him. I just know his mind. And if you call me Sherlock Holmes, what I did not want was Moriarty to join the other fucking side. I never wanted that. I never ever wanted me. I, for example, don't want us to be sitting in Mount Pleasant fighting against Pasadi when we have an Acie Lumumba on the other side, who has been a part of us for ages, now helping those people. I never wanted that. But now that's the new dispensation. That's where we are. That's where we were. He always wanted to go back. Well, you know what? I don't think he had a choice, Todd. You never called him up and said, my nigga, we're on the same side. Let's fight this together. You were never his friend. You never trusted him. I mean, you and I talk all the time. You and I are friends, but I don't believe that you ever accepted him to be a part of the opposition. You see, I think Zimbabwe we are very, very politically immature. I believe Zimbabweans are so politically mature that we love Mai Mujuru, we will accept Agrippa Mutambara, murderers and rapists. But when a young person comes away from ZANU-PF and comes to our side, we treat them like shit. So let's all take some responsibility. Let's all take some responsibility for Acie Lumumba. Let's all take some responsibility. Let's all take some responsibility for Acie Lumumba. Because he could have easily been one of us. He could have easily been a person who could have been playing on our side, who knew the in-depths of the workings of the other side. But he never got the love. He never got the affection. He never got the trust. So I blame him, but I also blame myself. You see, I could have done more to make sure that Acie Lumumba was accepted. I could have done more to make sure that we sanitized him. When we sent him into the belly of the beast that day, when he was now talking to Ambassador Mtrangwa and chi, and I could see he was now getting back in his element. Remember, like I told you, every house has tools. And his head was deep in the shit. And he was just in there. And they were showing him all this love. I knew that we had lost him. Kuda, these people bullying this boy. I'm not bootlicking this boy. Fuck you, man. Who the fuck are you, my tokos, whatever? Fuck you. I don't bootlick anybody. Jesus, man. Okay, Chef Bay is saying we need to eat. We need to eat. So there we go. Food is getting cold. I thought I'll just break it down for you in a real way, in a real honest way. I'm trying not to be judgmental. I'm trying not to be an asshole. I'm trying to make you guys understand how things actually work. And the thing is, when you see, just like anyone will tell you, that no one really wants to work against Professor Jonathan Moyo. No one really enjoys working against people like Xavier because those guys are bulldogs and they're monsters. That's the problem. What I'm saying to you now, guys, is if Lumumba was on our side, he wouldn't have given up. So, my nigga, for Lumumba to be on our side was extremely difficult. No one trusted him. No one cared. No one even gave him a call. When you were starving, he could come to my house and eat. That's it. Like, that nigga had lost everything. And he wasn't trusted and he wasn't given anything by anybody. So, I don't blame him from going where people actually want him. And now, like I said, you now have to deal. Tone down, Kuda. Parents, come on, Sha. Emmanuel, get off my channel, man. Why would you guys come on my page to watch my shit and tell me to tone down? What's wrong with you people? Zimbabweans are politically immature. You're immature. Go watch other people. And I'm a pastor, I'm an advocate, I'm a shit fuck. And I go. No, this is not for you. This is for people like me. People like me. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. We are the Teapot, the bastions of sanity, bastions of common sense. You now have to deal with an Acie Lumumba on the other side. That's fine. I think I'm up for the task. I never wanted to, but now I'm going to have to fight against him. See, I told him today. I met him today. I said, Acie, I now have to do everything in my power to dismantle you. I now have to do everything in my power to destroy him. I have to destroy ZANU-PF. See, because I don't believe that the system changed when ED came in. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. So we have work to do. Voter registration has to go in hard. We have to make sure that we remove this rotten system from the top down. Unfortunately, they now have a stronger side because they now have one of ours. But that's fine. We have to be stronger. We need to replace the Lumumbas. We've got many of those people who need to come in and join the forces. But we now need to work a lot harder. And next time somebody defects and comes to our side, we need to make sure that we treat them better and make sure that they stay fighting on our side. Otherwise, we'll lose them all over again. And you guys have forgiven people like Agrippa Mutambara. He's part of the alliance. Agrippa Mutambara, rapist, is part of the alliance. Go tell the Todd family that Agrippa Mutambara is going to be part of the new dispensation. Vanamaim Juru and whatever, everything that they have done to the Zimbabwean people. Those people are now bastions. They're bastions of the opposition. And you guys trust them. But when one of yours, a young man, leaves that side, you distrust him and you treat him like shit. That's the problem. We need to be more politically mature. Otherwise, we'll keep losing Acie Lumumbas. And we'll keep losing people. If you go on Pastor E's page, you'll see the way he's treated by our generation. Go to Fadzai's page, you'll see what people say about her. I want you to understand that you go to Promise's page and see what people say about him. Someone's weird allegations online can actually change a man's life forever. And that's our generation trolling each other and hurting each other. We don't want a situation where we lose a promise. I can tell you that now. You don't want to lose the Jamuka, guys. I'm telling you that now. Because the war where we're going, we need all the soldiers that we can get. We do not want to lose 10 Rorwads, ladies and gentlemen. We don't want to do that. And we can so easily. Because we don't have the resources. We don't have the resources. Anyway, I love you guys. I love you. I love you guys. We are the resistance. We are the getting rid of Mugabe didn't mean a damn thing. Getting rid of Mugabe did not mean a damn thing. All we did was fortify and regroup and make a stronger Zanu PF. And now they have the war veterans back. Now they have the Acie Lumumbas back. It's going to be difficult. But we're up to the task. We have to get rid of all of them. Let's move. Thank you very much. We are the Tea Party. Expect us.